Yeah. Go ahead, Akash.
Mhm. Yeah, so Keshav, where were we yesterday? I mean, we were getting one error, right? We tried to do ng serve, we were getting this error Angular dev core.
I'm sorry.
Yesterday we did till here, right? We were getting this error. We
Yes,
tried to
yes,
do ng
yes,
serve. Yeah, we were getting this
yes.
error. So let me install this. Dash dash core. So we have two options to install this. We can install it in normal dependencies or in dev dependencies. As I showed you in package.json, we have two sections of dependencies. One is
Yes.
this, this regular dependency section, and
And the
second
dev
is your dev
dependency
dependency.
section.
So we can install it in any one. So I told you that
Okay.
when your line is wait before. Hello, Keshav, is there disturbance?
Yes, I'm here. Kalyan, could you please mute your this thing? Hello, Kalyan.
Hello, Kalyani?
Hey, sorry yaar. I'm muting here.
Can you please mute your mic,
Yeah,
if you don't mind?
yeah, I think she's muted. Yeah, so I I told you yesterday that these dependencies will come in handy when your site will go in production, when it will go live. And these dev
Yes.
dependencies only for development purposes. So you can install, currently you can install DevKit core in anything. So there are two flags to install the dependency. If you say dash dash save, so it will go inside of this with a comma and then an entry will be here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
In the dependency section. But if you say dash dash save dev for save dev as a dev dependency, it will go inside of dev dependency as a
Dev
comma
dependency.
separated
Okay.
value. So let me do dash dash save. So you'll see an entry happening over here in the dependency section somewhere. It might happen, it might not, because it might be a package of this Angular core or Angular compiler, as I told you that it's in itself Angular core. One package depends on a lot of other packages. So this
Yeah.
might be a dependency of some other package but didn't get installed before.
Okay.
So did you try creating an application by your own?
Yes, I did. I have an application. I did not. I even have this Node modules. Okay. But like see, till now we have just like installing application by using the first setting in this thing. What do you say? Angular. We need Node.js.
Okay.
Online, we need to download the Node.js, and after that we need to install Node. Then after we might check whether it is installed perfectly or not. For that we can check Node.js versions and npm versions. And after that, installing Angular and creating Angular by using Angular CLI.
Right.
ng new Angular, ng new. npm install and globally Angular CLI. Then after that, creating a project using ng.
Okay, so you have done all those steps. I mean, installing Angular CLI,
yes.
you have done. You are able to run ng command.
Yes.
Okay, then that's good.
I even checked the ng serve as well. I mean, it gave me the output.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, just an initial output.
Okay, that's good then. I mean, you have the environment now, so it will be good for the
easier to
yeah, it will be good for the assignments when you will start doing it. Yeah, so it will take a little time to download this dependency. I think this is the last dependency that we need to download. The rest we downloaded yesterday itself. Yeah, I think they made some changes in this version 5. That's why I am getting it. I'm not sure if you got this error or not while ng serve.
No, I did not get any error. I just
I did. Yeah, I also didn't used to get this. I mean, this is happening since like 2 weeks back. I'm getting this error.
The package and everything, case to memory. So for the cookies, right? Do we need to clear the cookies every time for this? I mean, is the same regular light, or else is it gonna clear the cookies
Which one?
for this? What do you say? If we click ng serve hyphen open, so
Okay.
is it gonna clear the cookies and run it, or we have to delete the cookies manually for every time when we run
No,
it?
no, your cookies has nothing to do with running the application. I mean, you don't have to think about it. Cookies has nothing to do with this application. So you do not have to touch your
Okay.
cookies. I mean, let them there be. So there is no problem with the history of your cookies or anything like that. There is
Okay.
just a
So
local
I see that.
development. Yeah.
Okay. I see that if I end the execution, see webpack
Mhm.
compile. Okay. Would you pass me the ball?
Wait.
I mean, by the time we get installed, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you are the presenter now.
okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Did you get my screen?
No, still not getting a screen.
Are you getting it?
No. Are you sharing it from here only? I mean,
I'm sharing it my screen.
I'm not able to see your screen right now. Not
No.
not in my mobile, not in my desktop as well.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. No worries. And so, which one do you want me to pass the ball?
Just go to the web one. You see one web one?
Huh?
There must be an Akash with the web. Akash web. Is there some with the web name? Akash web.
Mm, no.
Just pass it to
I
anyone.
see.
Just pass it to anyone. Pass it to any Akash, and I'll change the. If it comes to a mobile, I'll give my presenter to the desktop. Yeah, yeah, I can see your screen now. Yeah, I can see the build. I did see your screen for a moment, Keshav.
Oh, but I don't know. I did not get the permission now. So I think like you can share and continue it.
Yeah, wait. Who is the other one? Attendee web. Okay. Yeah, so this got installed. Now I'm running ng serve on this. This initial step is only a little time consuming.
Yeah, I
After
know.
it
For
comes,
everything, it
yeah,
might take
yeah,
care.
yeah, it all bundles things up, and after that, generate files for you. Because after this compilation step, you make changes in the application and you save them, it directly, shows you on the browser. You do not need to run this command again and again. It compiles on the background.
Live development. So does it creates a local host when we say serve? It will create
So
any.
yeah, so it kind of emulates this behavior of HTTPS. Like it gives us that. I mean, localhost you can think of as an HTTP host for us. So this Angular does it by itself. We don't need to give it anything. Angular CLI takes care of it. I mean, it gives us a local host. Like if you try to run some other application, like some other HTML file, if you open from somewhere, that will open from a file system. If you see on the URL, you'll see file colon something something slash your file.html. But this works from the localhost perspective, like HTTP or HTTPS, you can say. So now we have it in this
Localhost
localhost.
to 4.2.0.
Yeah, let me go to that now. And what we will see here is a demo template. We haven't created this.
Yes.
This is what Angular CLI gave us, right?
Yes.
You must have seen this. I mean, in when you ran ngServe, you tried to go to that. So let me go to the app modules.
So I have done till here. So
Okay.
my question was
Mhm.
if I close
Okay.
the CMD, I mean command prompt, or if I exit the command prompt or stop executing the
Yeah.
thing, my browser won't
Mhm.
support this thing,
Right.
right?
Right.
It won't execute. Yes. So that is what my question is.
Yeah, so you need to run ngServe. I mean, that has to be run constantly on the background in order to run your application.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Right. I think my screen is stuck. Just give me a moment.
So if I want to run it again,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna do the same, right? If I want to run it again, I have to say
Yeah, just
ngserve
yeah,
hyphen open.
ngServe. Yeah. Right. Hyphen open is also not important. Hyphen open is a flag if you want to directly open it. Like I
It
typed
directly
in
opens the
localhost.
browser.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. If you directly want to open the browser, you can pass in that flag.
Directly say hyphen open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or
I
instead,
was going through.
because what hyphen open is going to do is it's going to open your app in a default folder. You can't change the,
Yes.
sorry, not folder,
Default
in a
browser.
default browser.
Default browser.
If you want to change the browser, you want to copy this and you want to paste the URL somewhere else, and then you have to run this application. So
Yes.
I for that case do not use that open flag because it opens in Microsoft Edge for me. So I don't use that flag.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So why is this so slow? My
But
system today.
literally, I'm saying, right, like when I try to understand this file structure of app,
Uh,
the app file structure and TS component file structure, it was a bit confusing after the class when I tried to read and try to understand like how it's gonna
yeah.
relate all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, initially it seems confusing. I mean, when I was learning it, it seems like, what the heck is that? A lot
Yeah.
of files. What do I want to do? Why is this file and why is that file? So that's what I'm telling you. I mean, the main important things that you need to know is the thing inside the app folder. Nothing else. Assets will come in handy when you will have images, something like that. Environment when your site will go live. So environment, assets you can forget for now. What you want to consider is your things inside the app, because inside this only you'll be creating next further components, services, pipes, whatever you want in your
Yes.
application. And as I told you, the app module or the app component is the root of your application. So this will start your application. I mean, this will be the parent.
Yes.
Everything that is going to be created from now on would be a child of it, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So I'll tell you where are we getting this code from. I don't know why it's so slow, my system today. Hanging. So you see this welcome to app, and then there's this icon and then the three links. So if I go
Yes.
to the code, Oh, right. Keshav, can you give me like 5 minutes? I should restart it. I mean, I don't know why it's not responding
Yeah,
to
no
me.
worries, no worries. Take your time, no worries.
I think it's responding. Keshav, you can show me your screen till then. I mean, you were trying to show something.
Oh, okay. Just
Do you have a
oh,
share as this?
no, I don't. No, that is what I was trying to do. The same this thing.
Yeah.
If I close the
Mhm.
browser, let allow me to run the application or not.
Okay.
So Akash, I have a question. So if I install my application, if my application went to production, okay. So at that time, does
Mhm.
my application is keep on running? I mean, like, how do I know that my application is running? What is the process that it goes on
I
even
mean, when
before
it
it?
goes to production, your server will take care of it. I mean, just like localhost we have over here, there you will be having an
Yes,
HTTP or HTTP, something like Apache Tomcat or something like that running, or IIS server
yes,
running on the backend. Yeah. So
yes.
that takes care of running like this command. You see ngserve. This is for the development purpose only. But when it goes to production, you don't have to worry about it, because in production, what we do is we create a dist folder, dist. So we run a command
Okay,
which is ng build. So with the help of ng
okay,
build, we generate a dist folder, and that folder goes into your server directory from where you want to serve your files from. So anytime your user wants to see, your application, what he can do is he can hit your server and then slash index.html, the file that the
yeah.
base
That's
file
what the
is.
Nexus
Yeah,
HTML is
so,
the default page. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that
yeah,
is what
yeah.
I
So
just
he'll
wanted
get
to
the base.
understand. Like,
Yeah, so he'll get the base file and then he'll just. So this is only for
so
the
Akash,
development purposes. I mean, ng serve
yes,
and
yes.
these things.
Yes. Akash, I would request you to, if by with your experience, like at least give, I mean, on the fly, just give me some kind of tips to crack an interview as well. If you come
Okay.
across any key points or something like that, I can make a note of them.
Yeah, yeah, sure, no problem, no problem. So how much experience do you have? I mean, do you have any working experience right now?
Yeah, I'm into Capgemini. I work for
Mm-hmm.
Discover Financials. So I'm a UX and UI developer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like pretty much into like developing a responsive and mobile related screens.
Okay.
But I want to go on with the Angular and React thing
Okay,
because
okay.
I want to shift myself into development UI development
Mm-hmm.
side.
Right,
I
right.
have basic knowledge of JavaScript and how do we use that, and like basic knowledge concepts of jQuery.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, I mean that would do. Basic concepts will do. You don't need to be an expert in order to learn, Angular.
yeah,
But for React, I mean, for React, you would be needing a little bit of JavaScript because React is
yeah,
not
yeah.
written
I
in
know.
TypeScript.
It's
So
not a TypeScript.
it's in pure JavaScript, you can say. It's just JSX files where you write your own HTML inside of the JavaScript files. That's how it is done in React. But it has its own syntax. I mean, React also has its own syntax. Like you create a class, and then inside of this, you have a render function which will render all the HTML and stuff.
Mm.
These are, I mean, pretty. If you try to learn these things, they are pretty basic. Once you understand the concept, the basic concept, that you'll be able to code from your side, like how to do things, how to create a basic application, how to understand the end-to-end things, like how they work. Like currently, you are seeing a lot of app files like app SCS, app HTML, index HTML, style CSS, and that might seems to be confusing for you. But there are a lot of files
Yes.
that are doing it. That is a good independent. Angular has come up with a lot of files, but it's just that you have to have to think about a couple of files that you need to work on. Like index.html, we won't be touching. Style.css for global, and app component is for your local
Okay.
component. You can treat as. Then after you start working on it and you create some custom components, so you can create some custom modules as well. Then the project structure will depend on how you want it to go. I mean, tomorrow if you want to create some other
Yeah.
component, so you might want to create a folder for a particular component, say product. Then inside of product, you can create 3 more components, say product list, then product price, and something like that. I mean, depending on how
Okay.
you want to structure that
Depending
code.
upon the production. Yeah. Product.
Yeah,
I mean the application.
yeah, yeah, application. So inside of app only, you need to create your components, and then I think it would be good. So inside of source and app, you'll be working most of the times.
Okay.
There'll be some instances when you can create some other shared folders for shared assets of our application. Then we can
Oh,
have
can we do that?
yeah, that will be a shared folder. Like besides app, assets, environment, we can create a shared folder. So
Mm-hmm.
that shared folder will will do what that will share the code between your components in your application. So any component can use the code from that. So that will be something that will come in handy, when you want to get you know centered code for a lot of components.
So like what are the usual questions? I mean, if you're ready with my system, that's fine. Or else can I ask you a few more
Yeah,
questions?
sure. Go ahead. I mean, it's taking a
So
little time.
what are the usual questions you come across when you attend an interview or else when you take an interview
Okay.
with someone?
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. So what people, want to ask is, starting from the basics, what they want to know is that what is the difference between Angular 1 and Angular 2? So my resume also has Angular 1. So people are interested in knowing
Okay.
what is the difference. But since you are starting from Angular 2, the people won't be asking what is the difference. What they will be
Okay.
asking you is that what is a component, how does component interact with each other, okay? How does routing work? I mean, how do you create multiple components and then make them interact with each other? What are modules? What is an ng module? What are imports? What are services? What is dependency injection? So these are all the questions that you can be asked, and these are very basic questions. I mean,
Yeah,
two
basic
liners or
of
three
the
liners.
Angular.
And then some advanced questions can be, how do you pass data from a template HTML file to a component? Or how do you pass
Okay.
data from a component TS file to an HTML file? Or how do you pass data from a parent component to a child component? Or how
Okay.
can you pass data from a child component to a parent component? Because that's how it is. It's a tree-like structure. The whole app is a tree-like structure.
Yes.
So how do you pass data? How do you pass state from up to down or down to up? That's something that the interviewer wants to know most of the times. Because if you know those things, I mean, then it's easy to hire you because you know the concepts and you know how to do things. So any application comes, you'll be able to code that. It's just
Okay.
logic, I mean pure logic. If you are clear with the concept, then you just have to apply the logic and then
Then to go
create the
with that.
application. Yeah. ng serve. Sorry. Let me share my screen now. I wanted to show you some interaction between components today. But my system is just hanging today. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So you have worked in SCSS, right?
I'm sorry.
You have worked in SAS.
SCSS. I have a
Yeah.
knowledge on it. If you,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So I
is
would,
it mandatory?
yeah, no, that's not mandatory. I would ask you to create your application in SCSS mode only, because by default Angular creates it in CSS mode. Because if you know SCSS, I mean that's a lot of added functionality on the CSS side, so you can do a lot of more things
Yeah.
in CSS. Yeah, so that
Yes.
depends on
Yes.
you what you want in SCSS or CSS. That's
Yeah.
entirely upon
Because
you.
I can. Yeah. I have to go with the SCSS as well.
Yeah, so it's just up to you. I mean, what do you want to do? I think I don't have the access. I need to ask Kalyani to give me access. Hello, Kalyani on the line? Hello.
Hello. Kalyani?
Hello. Wait, let me just call her and ask her. Just give me a second. Yeah, I just restarted my system and lost the access. And
Yeah,
it
I
has
know.
gone
Sometimes
back.
it happens.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He's on a good call.
Right. Yeah, Kalyani, can you give me access? Yeah, Kalyani, can you give me access? I mean, I've lost the access. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
अरे डोर बैठे हो So every time it's gonna create a, I mean, it's gonna create a modules. whenever we run ng serve?
So it's I mean ng serve, yeah, it will create a bundle for you, not the modules. What it does is it compiles down your TypeScript files and all the files, and behind the scenes there is Webpack. As I told you, Webpack is a module loader. So what it does is say in between your Webpack and the input that goes in the Webpack are the TypeScript files, your CSS files, your HTML files, your your test files. And what it does is it generates all the files, mini files, and you make them small and finally generates final bundle for your .js file. Something .js or .js, multiple 3 or 4 .js files it creates for you, bundle.js, something .js. And that is what runs on your browser, not your TypeScript. So it's just for the coding. I mean, you're seeing TypeScript here, but it creates JavaScript files in this compilation process for you. Am I able to go now? Yeah, I think I am.
It's pretty fast comparatively.
Compared to earlier. Yeah, so this is what you are
seeing. I'm sorry?
Uh-huh.
No. It all depends upon how well you understand, how well you implement the things, how well you use the things.
Yeah, once you understand the basics of it, and I think then you can start working on it. I mean, you will be able to create application and create different components that interact with each other.
Yesterday I was trying to play with these all files, the component.ts.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting a bit confusion between these things. So that is no
problem. So what we are seeing in the application is there is an icon that you saw, when we ran 4200 on the browser. So this is the.
I mean HTML, like you can just skip the HTML part kind of thing. I can pretty sure. Because like all my career and everything goes with only HTML and Photoshop, Adobe Sketch, those things.
Okay.
HTML and CSS. But if you think that is a required and mandated thing to say, I welcome you. You'll appreciate that when it's really think that it has to. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So for that, I really appreciate that.
So currently, what you are seeing is there is nothing in our class, right?
Yes.
And I've cleared it. So I'll go ahead and save these files. I think before showing you the data binding, I'll show you how this is connected with the index.html. I mentioned in the slides, but I didn't show it to you. So you are seeing app root here, right?
Yes.
So this is the selector that we can, use anywhere to put our app.component over there. So in the index.html, if we go, just remember this app-root we have selector.
Okay.
So this will work as a tag. So if we try to come to index.html, we'll see one file over there. We'll see one selector over there, which is this app-root. I think I'm having some serious problems with my system today. So if you see this app-root.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the only file that we'll be having in our application, index.html, that will be hosted finally. Everything will come inside this body tag. And currently what we have is app body, which is the selector of app component, right?
Okay. So what if I write anything above or below that?
If you write anything below that.
Yes, it won't act as an Angular things, right?
Yeah, let me write it for you.
And I like this Visual Code. We have many, add-ons.
Yeah, that's what told you. I mean, it's very easy to
Yeah,
code things
because
out.
like usually I use the Storm, which has many add-ons like plugins,
Mm-hmm.
but this has the good add-ons like Angular and
Right.
everything. So once we do any change here, will it
Mm-hmm.
gonna compile automatically?
Yeah, it's saying
I mean,
it's saying compiling. Yeah, it's compiling automatically. If you see, I just click Control S over there and it's compiling.
yeah. Let me
I think my command prompt is only taking a long time. So there is an integrated terminal that comes with this Visual Studio Code, and you can run commands in that also. So instead of running your commands in the command prompt, what you can do is you can run your
try. Okay.
commands in the integrated terminal.
How do I know whether it is taking in?
I think meanwhile you can ask some questions if you have. This is, is it not
No, it's not
responding?
taking.
Okay.
It's not taking as an. I mean, I checked in my mission.
Mm-hmm.
So would you mind if you want, I can give you my mission access so that it will be easy to compile and do the things.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, do that then. I don't know why it's just not doing things. I'll give you access. Huh?
Yeah, please.
System is not slow. Let me just stop this.
So how do I stop compiling or anything?
You can go ahead and press Control C.
Okay, Control C. Okay.
Yeah, with the help of Control C, you can do it.
Oh, you have an experience with material design as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was with like Google Material Design.
Yeah, material design.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
I think I can see your screen now. Yeah.
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this is what our project is, and like you read the HTML components. You want me to delete all these things, right?
Uh-huh.
I'll just make a comment. How
So
do
is
I
it
make a
possible you
comment?
can give me access? I mean, if I can control your screen.
Oh yeah, I think yes, you can.
Not making the
Oh,
presenter. I mean,
sure.
must be
How do
something,
I
right?
do control? Oh man,
There's no option, right?
yo no.
Okay, okay. Then just go over there, code. I'll tell you what to do then.
Okay, sure. Like because it
Yeah,
might take some like much time.
yeah. Okay, no problem.
Then
Just
usually,
yeah,
if
just
you
save
want, I
this
can
file now.
start a team where. If you want, I can start a team where or something.
We will do it
Is that
tomorrow. I
okay?
mean, we'll either connect in WebEx or TeamViewer tomorrow.
Yeah, please. So
So what do
actually, I have open.
right? So
I'm
you
just
have
giving a
written something,
try.
right?
Right? Yes. I did not
So
take anything else.
yeah. So if you
Okay.
see over here, it showed you that only. I mean, whatever you put in that tag after the
Yes.
this is like a traditional body in your index traditional body in your HTML file. You put something inside
Yeah.
with it, you see that. So this app root, what is this app root is? It's the root of your application. So any
It's
component
an
that you will
entry
create,
point of it's an entry point of Angular.js, right?
yeah, Angular point is the
Previously
entry point.
we used to do previously we used to do ng app, right?
Yeah, NG
For
app
entry
was
point
there,
of
NG controller, yeah, NG controller
yeah.
was there. Those were the things in
Yes.
Angular. Now
But
we
for
don't
now
do
it is an ng app hyphen root is an entry point of Angular.js.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be app dash root. You can call it ABC. Just put over there ABC as an opening tag and closing tag as ABC. You can change it to anything that you want. Just call it ABC.
Okay.
So that's not a keyword. I mean, app root is not a keyword. You can write ABC over there. Whatever you want to write.
Yeah.
The closing tag must be same, and then the selector in that app.component.ts must be same. Yeah, the selector name has to be same.
So okay. So and okay. So my Angular is going to start from here, right? Okay. So what do I do next?
Are you running ng-serve right now?
You want me to run what?
You're running ng-serve, right?
Yes, I am. My ng server is still in running.
Yeah, you can go to the browser now.
I think it's all on.
Yeah, the application is still running. The application is still running. It didn't break. If you see, welcome to my first demo. So you can the selector name can be. I mean, you can give it any custom name if you want. So they call it app-root because the root of the application, but you can call it ABC or DE, whatever you want. So you're not saying anything because you commented. I mean, app.component HTML, everything inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, you said like you wanted to just remove this.
Yeah, but I was trying to show you something. I mean, the data binding and stuff, other things. So what you can do is now, you can copy the line which is welcome to title from the h1 tag in the top. If you see h1 tag inside of h1 tag, yeah. So copy this line, welcome, and then you can paste it down here. Yeah, paste it here only. So if you see over here what it is, this is curly braces, two curly open braces, two curly close braces. So what it does is it binds the data from a TypeScript file to HTML file. So anything that is there in your TypeScript file, a variable, normal variable, so that you declare, say you have declared a title right now. If you go to the TypeScript file for now, app.component.ts, go to that, you'll see a title variable, yeah. Inside of this title. Yeah, so you can create any variable, like currently it's title, or you can create some custom variable. Just create a custom variable by entering and just create a variable. Give it any name and then equal to a value, something like that. You can do it. I mean, in this TypeScript, you can just give it a name. If you don't want to give it a type, give it a name and equal to, if you want to give it a value, or just semicolon, age semicolon, if you just want to declare it. Phone equal to, you can give it a number, like if you want.
Phone, I'm sorry. Phone should be some number, right?
Yeah, you can give it anything. You can give it string or number, array.
Yeah.
Now say we want to bind this, we want to show this in HTML. This is in a TypeScript file. So we go back to the HTML file and we go to the HTML file back, and then anywhere you can use those curly braces, open curly braces. Yeah, then you can write phone in here and it will show on the screen. If you go to the browser now after saving, you'll see the phone and the title over there.
Go to the browser. Is it a case sensitive?
Case sensitive. Yeah, because depending on what you want to use, say you want to use small phone for your landline and capital phone for your mobile number, so that will change. So you have to be very much aware of what you are using.
Yeah.
See the number over here, 1 2 3 4.
Okay.
Right. So this is the binding, in its very natural form. This is the very basic of binding. You have something TypeScript file in a variable, something like a value or an array, and you bind it with the help of this double curly braces. So this is the syntax for binding things. Now what you can do is you can go to your I think you can start using terminal integrated terminal from here only. So what you can do is, if you go to the view from the top task toolbar, if you go to view,
View, right?
yeah, there's a toolbar on the top, file, edit, selection, view.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
on the
okay,
top,
view.
if you see, not in this, go to the view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there must be some integrated terminal here. Not, if not in this, you can go to the next one, which is Go.
Terminal task.
Terminal. There you go. Go to the Go command. Go. There is Go also. I mean, on the left of debug.
No. Terminal task, right?
Not this one. I mean, integrated terminal. There is one integrated terminal. Can you go to Go? So what you can do is, you can come to this TS file, click on this. I mean, on the file itself, app.component.ts. Click inside of this somewhere. Yeah. Now press Control and the tilde sign, which is beneath that escape file. No, don't do this. I mean, come to the TS file. Come to the TS file and click on it inside of somewhere in the TS file. Yeah. So this is the terminal I'm talking about. So you can run your commands from here also, like ngserve or any other command that you want to run instead of command prompt. So this is also
okay.
command prompt for you. Yeah. So what you can do is, so since you have one, your Angular CLI installed, you can run one command, which is ng. You please type in the command ng
OMG?
space. Yeah, just type in the command ng space generate, generate, generate space component space first component. You can press enter. So what it does is, this is term ng is not recognized. Okay, so it's not able to take the command from here. Your integrated terminal doesn't support that command. Okay, so this is not integrated
So
with
let me
the
try.
command prompt.
Okay, let me try this in command prompt.
Yeah, you can run this from command prompt. It doesn't run over here. So you need to stop it. I mean, why I use an integrated terminal is because I do not need to stop this ngserve. I can run multiple, sessions at the same time.
Yeah.
So this will keep on running. Let's go ahead and so there is this
Okay,
ng.
great.
Then yeah, so if you see over here, the source/app/first component folder it created.
Yes.
And if you go over the first component folder getting created, so it creates all these files for you. So this same folder, same file structure you will get, just like app component, you'll get the first component structure, TS, then spec for testing, then HTML, then CSS file. So these are the four files you get. So you can close this terminal for now. This is the right side terminal that you are getting in this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's taking some space. So if you go to the TS file over here, so what we are concerned with is the TS, HTML, and CSS file. If you go to the TS file, this is very similar to the app.component HTML file. It has the same syntax. We have one import, then add the component decorator, then a class, 3 things, right?
Yes.
And inside the component, what we have is a selector that we can put somewhere to use the code of this first component, just like we did with app component. We used a selector which was app root inside of index.html, right?
Install app root. So like we can create some other page. I mean some other HTML. Right? We can create some other HTML and we can write
the selector tag. Yeah. So this is what you did here. So you can save it, and you can see the changes in our first component. Yeah, so go to the HTML file first.component.html, what it has, so that we'll come to know that it has what HTML, it will show us. So first component works will come if you go to the browser now. But your ng sub is not running, I guess.
Oh yeah.
It won't run. I mean, the localhost won't be there.
So Akash, I just wanted to know, like, do you know any small challenges online so that I can practice it? Small challenges.
I think
So
online, what you can do is there is this online, I mean, editor. I don't know whether they give you challenges or not. There is Stackblitz, Stackblitz. So I don't see much challenges online over there, but there are tutorials. I mean, where they give it, they give the basics to you, like to understand the basics. Yeah,
okay.
stackblitz.com. This is one thing where you can go and play with the code.
Okay. I think it's running maybe. So does it take lots of memory of your CPU?
I think initially when it tries to run, but not afterwards. When it builds the files for you at that time, I guess, but not
Yeah,
much. I mean, yeah, at the compilation time it takes. That's why it takes a little time. And also there are a lot of files, provided by Angular. So the TypeScript and CSS, it bundles all those up. So that's a CPU intensive work.
Okay. So Akash, what would be the preferable timing to start regularly? Because every time.
Yeah, but had I not had any problem with my system, I mean, we would have finished, for today. I don't know why, but I'll try to see what is happening in the film. I worked on it yesterday itself in the night. I mean, wasn't facing any issues. Today itself in the morning I started having this. I mean,
But
8:10 is
nice.
fine. 8:10. Today also we tried to connect at 8:10.
Okay, 8:10.
Right?
If 8:10 is fine, I'm okay.
Yeah, 8
Because
8:10.
I'll
Today
make
also
myself free.
8:10. Yeah, I don't think this will be a problem that will happen tomorrow or something like that,
Yeah.
because I'll see to it what happened, what went wrong.
So you want to, I mean, schedule the classes for weekends as well, or else is it okay for you? Because like you can give some
Depends on,
tasks to me. You can give
yeah,
me
depends on
some
how the
tasks so
code
that
goes.
I can
Yeah,
free.
I can give you some tasks for the weekend. I mean, if for your Saturday and Sundays you can do those tasks, and then we can get back on Monday and yeah,
Yes, it's my question
a
again.
little complicated task. Yeah, Keshav, can you give me like 5 minutes? Can you give me like just 5 minutes?
Sure. Take it.
It gets okay.
Oh my
ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నావు.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Kishan.
Okay.
So
actually, Actually, I tried to do my email.
Mm-hmm.
So I have created a variable called email.
Mm-hmm.
In that app set. Is it the right? It's the right process to create this, because it was like, do I need to create in under construction or in the initial app?
No. You can give it the value there itself. I mean, when creating the variable.
It's a global. It's a global variable. It's a global variable, right?
For this class only. Yeah, for this class. I mean, you will be having separate component classes. Yeah, for this you will be having a global variable for it. So for creating a local variable, you can inside of a function you can create one variable.
Yes.
For class files, for the whole class, you can create variables here. And for local, you can create inside of a function, like inside of constructor or inside of ng on init, if you see over there.
Yes. But when I do it here, like, it's giving me an error.
Yeah, it will give you an error. Now is the good point of learning the interaction of components. So it's not the value that is giving you the error. It will be something. Just save it.
Okay, I did it.
Even if you remove the value, it will give you an error, I guess. It's not the value that's causing the error. It's the component in itself. I mean, the whole component will give you an error.
Okay, why is like that? I mean,
no, I'll tell you why it is like that. So if you go to the browser itself and show me the error, I'll tell you what the error is.
I mean, it's not even showing me anything.
Okay, it compiled, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, good. Can you go back? Yeah, so one of the reason is it didn't give you any error is because it's not giving you any value is that you included this first component in index.html. So since app.component is a root of our application, so it's like a tree-like structure. So that will remain at the top, and then there will be children to it. So first component is going to be a children of it. So usually we do not write the selector tag for other component inside of index.html. Like if you go in index.html.
Yes. But I did the tag, right?
Yeah, you did the tag. But what our application is doing is it's bootstrapping just the app component, right? In the app model, if you see the app, it's bootstrapping the app component. It's not bootstrapping first component. So our application
component only.
It's not able to understand what first component is. So we need to make it understand what first component is. So you can remove this app-first component over here in the index.html. So just think of it in terms of HTML to have just one tag, which is the root tag of our application. It will have first tag, if you can say first tag or the app root tag. So you can remove the app first component from here. And what you can do is you can go back to the app.component.html. No, remove that tag from here. Remove that tag from over there in the HTML. You will just have the root tag of your application, which is the app.root or my first that you have created.
Oh, in the index.html?
Yeah, index.html, you just need to have one tag, like the root tag of your application.
Okay, I have removed the my first.
No. Keep it over there only. I mean, my first is the root tag of your application, right? You need to remove this app first component.
Okay.
Yeah, so just remove this and keep it inside of app.component.html. Yeah, the selector tag. Just give me a second. Someone knock on my door. I'm coming.
I'm sorry. Okay, some. I'm getting some idea. So now it should display my email. Okay. So anything which I need to run should be in this app.html, app.component.html, right? Is that true? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me, Keshav?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so as I said that this is the root component of our application. So anything that will go inside of this HTML app component HTML, you can think of that as it is going inside your body tag into your HTML, because we have put a selector over there which is the app component of TS selector. So root component selector we have put over there, like my first or app root, whatever it is. So it will take the HTML from here, app component HTML root, and it will put inside the body tag. So you can put everything in the component or HTML app component. So inside of this, my first will put everything.
Yes.
That we have in the app component HTML. So if you go to the app component HTML back and then the component app component HTML. So you do not need to write this email inside of app first component. I mean, you can remove it from here. So you can just write as an empty tag. You can create an empty tag. So this is an empty tag in itself. So in place of this, what will happen is it will take the place of first component. This is the first component.
So if I write,
tag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you write,
it
will. No, I think the scope won't be accessible over here. I'm not sure if the scope would be accessible over here.
No, it is accepting, right?
No, it is not accepting that. I'll tell you what it is accepting. So if you remove this email from here, what it does is, instead of in place of a selector, wherever you put your selector, it will embed all your code of that selector. Like, if you have my first over here in the body, so whatever there in the HTML file of that my first, it will put it over here.
Okay. Yes.
So that's what you're seeing on the page. That's what you're seeing on the page. So this is what goes on the body. And then inside of it, you have one more component, which is app first component. Go to app first component HTML. That will get embedded over here.
Okay. So if I remove that,
if you remove this HTML from here, this will go away.
Okay.
Remove email from here, this will go away now. Just remove it and then save.
I got what you're saying. You're saying. A box within the box is within the box.
Yeah, so you can. That's how it is. I mean, that's a tree-like structure, right? There is an app component. Inside of that, you have first component.
Then in that we have our actual HTML.
Yeah, you have actual HTML. So this is how it separates things. I mean, the HTML that you want to write, just write your whole first component HTML inside of this first component HTML, then embed it somewhere. The code, it will take this code, it will place it somewhere else, like in app component HTML.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what.
Yeah. But in this way, like, the styling would be a bit difficult, right?
Why? I don't think so.
I mean, the box modeling. No. The box modeling would not fit that easily.
Why not?
I mean, down the line, because I haven't experienced this kind of coding thing, so that is I'm just thinking. But down the line, I might.
No, I mean, once you start working on it, won't cause you any problem. Like you have separate CSS files for every component, so you can create component-specific CSS files that won't pollute the rest
Yes.
of the app. Right? So that is, I think,
that's true.
I think that is much better, because if you have
Yeah, of
same
course.
class, multiple, if you have same IDs, I won't say IDs, but if you have same classes defined in multiple components, then what you can do is you can give styles for a particular class in one component, and separate styles for the same class in some other component, and that they won't conflict with each other. So
Okay.
this is one good thing. And if you want to create some, say, shareable styles, you can go to style.css, and you can write for that particular class in that style.css file.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are different versions as to how you want to create the styles.css files. Like there are some advanced concepts which we call view encapsulation in Angular. Like, do you want your CSS files to be component centric? Do you want it? Do you want your own? You want the particular component to take the styles, or do you want the rest of the components to apply those styles as well? Do you want to pollute your styles to the rest of the application? So depending on your requirement, like you might write something in this first component.css, and that will reflect in app.component.css on some other component. That can happen. So that depends on your requirement, like how you want to do things, right?
Okay.
So
Yes.
Today what we did was we created this application with ng sir. We got a template by them, which is app.component.html. Inside of that, we had some code which we commented, and then we created our own first component, right, with the ng generate component tag. And then what we did was we embedded this first component inside of the app component HTML, right? And we also saw data binding, like if you want to bind some values from our template.ts file to HTML. So we can do that with the help of the curly braces.
Yeah. So
Right.
I'll do one thing. Yes.
Yeah.
No, like by tomorrow, I might come up with some of the, paid sample. I'll go ahead and I'll just collect some sample, online sample thing. Right. I'll come up with that kind of design if I can do.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So that would be easier to get hands-on experience with from my side.
Right. That would be good for you to learn. I mean, starting point, like creating 2 or 3 components, then embedding them in app component. Or it's just not that you want to embed it in everything in app component HTML. What you can do is you can create one more component, which is the second component, and you can embed that in the first component of HTML. You can do that as well. Like you create a second component and you embed that in the first component HTML, just like we did in app component HTML. So if you go to let's do this. Let's create one more component. Go to your terminal, CMD, and you need to stop this. Just copy the command from above. Yeah, just generate command. Just call it second component.
Is it spelling correct for a second?
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm weak in spelling.
No, give it any name, doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's going to create a component under app component, right?
Yeah, it will create a component under app component, but that won't be attached to any part of your application unless we embed a tag of it somewhere, right? Select a tag.
In the app component, yes.
Yeah, so this got created, but Angular app doesn't know about it.
Yes, okay. Okay, this got created, but I want this to be embedded somewhere here. And
you want this to be a part of an application. So you can run ng-serve in the background. Yeah, you can run ng-serve in the background so that it compiles.
Okay, first let me do some. Okay, we have this.
No, you need to run ng save. That's what I said. Just compile it in the background. So we'll code something and then yeah, this will take time. I'll go back to the code now. Yeah, so you have second component works, but this is not part of your application right now. We have created a component. Now we want to
Yes, we
attach
have
it
created a
somewhere.
component.
Yeah, but we want it somewhere in our application. So if you run the application, go to the browser, you won't see second component works.
Yes. So if you want to
You won't see it.
attach this component, yes, I'll
Yeah, if
have
you
to
want
go to
just
my.
go ahead. First go to the TS file of it. Second component TS file. You'll see a selector of it. Like what is the selector name? You need to
Okay,
know
the
the name,
selector
right?
name is yes.
Apps. I can just copy it and just embed it somewhere, wherever you want, like in app.component HTML or in first component HTML. Like beneath this, you can do.
Or it should be under. It can be outside of this, or it can be under this. So it would be embedded into the.
Yeah, it can be embedded inside of this. So if you want to embed it inside this, what you can do is embed inside the first component HTML. This is second component work it shows you. So you can embed it inside the first component of HTML instead of instead of this, you should do inside of first component of HTML because this is its selector tag. So inside of one selector, this
Yes.
is yeah. So we have its HTML file. So just go ahead and put it inside of that. That will work the same. Yeah, that will work the same. It will show you the second component works. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
So
giving us 2 times, right?
Is over here. If you go to the app.component HTML, it's showing us
So
2
we
times,
have
right?
it here.
Did you save
Yeah,
this
it
file?
should.
I think you haven't saved this. You haven't saved this
Oh,
file.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
One second.
so
How do I
earlier-
customize? You can change the default version.
Yeah, no, just cancel it. Just cancel it.
No, I can
I think
just say this is. It should be PowerShell or else command prompt. Command prompt, right? Command prompt or
Yeah,
PowerShell.
command prompt. Yeah, command prompt.
Now I think it works.
It will show you just one, I guess now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it shows you one now.
just one.
Because you didn't save that file, so it had that app component from before app second component here. Right, so you can play with these components. You know, you can create multiple components at the same
I'll
time.
create multiple components and I'll create some pages.
So since you know HTML, CSS, I'll give you a small exercise what you can do. What you can do is you can create an application, small application like this, where you will be having a head, a body, and a footer, right? So what you can do is you can create 3 components. One will
I
be your
can
header.
create 3 components. One will be the header, and another will be the main body, and another one will be the footer. And in the body, in the header, I'll be having a logo and the navigation bar is required, and the search
Go
icon.
ahead. Yeah. So
And
whatever
search
styles
icon,
you
and in the main page.
Yeah.
And in the main page, I'll be having some kind of a paragraph and few, like tables, 1 or 2 tables.
Yeah, you can have tables here.
Yeah. In the footer, like it's just a normal footer.
Yeah, normal footer.
Okay, so sure then. I'll try to create this HTML.
Try to create this model, and in case you want to style it, just go ahead with the .css files in that, like header.css. When you create it, will generate header.css. Just target the classes from your header.html file. Just style it accordingly. Don't try to style it from style.css, but because that's global, that will affect the rest of the styles. I'll tell you when to style it from style.css, but currently just style it from the header and from the component itself for that particular thing, right? And also one more thing, which is you can, instead of putting code directly, the paragraph, the text inside of it, just try to put it from the TypeScript file, through binding.
Okay,
so
but through binding. Okay.
So assign a value to a variable in TypeScript file and then bind it to the HTML, because that will be a good thing.
Sure, definitely.
That will seem a little dynamic. Like tomorrow, if you call some API, get data from it. So that is how we want to show it, like with the help of binding. We won't be working with static data, dynamic data if you want. So let's do this exercise today, Keshav, and then let's see how it goes tomorrow.
Okay, sure, right, definitely. Okay. If I come across anything, I'll just have a note.
Yeah, just please come up with doubts if you have any. you will be able to do it because this is the basic that we covered today. But in case if we have any problem, we'll see those things tomorrow.
Sure, right. Thanks.
Okay, Keshav.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay, bye-bye.
Prakash. And like, did you get a chance to talk to your Windows team or else any VM?
Yeah,
We can.
they don't seem to have any free VMs. So the one thing that you can code it online in StackBlitz that I said. I mean, that is the one option that you can do. So
Okay.
StackBlitz,
No, I'm ready to buy. No, I'm ready to buy. Is there any buy? I mean, like price.
Currently, my organization is not selling any VMs. I mean, they're not opening any. They just have organization specific VMs that they are giving us to work, but they're not creating any custom VMs that somebody else can work on.
Okay.
So in case if you want to work from somewhere else, you want to work and you want to save your work you want to do. So that's what I'm saying. This StackBlitz is the best place to do that. You can code inside of it. It will give you a template, the same template that Angular CLI gives you. So it will create an application for you. You can code it, you can zip it, and you can put it in your Gmail or anywhere, and then you can unzip it and you can work from it. You can create an account in StackBlitz. It will have a store of an application, whatever you will create inside of it, and by logging into it from somewhere else, you can access your application. It's like a cloud service that they provide.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Then first, let me complete with our template design. Then, if I have time, then I'll go with this tab.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then Keshav.
Thanks, Akash.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, bye.